Let's continue our conversation on Stoicism, going over the moral letters from Seneca. I've landed on letter 28, and I quite liked it. I'm going to read you a short piece of it, and then we'll discuss it. From Seneca to Lucilius, greetings. Do you think that you are the only one this has happened to? Are you amazed to find that even with such extensive travel to so many varied locales, you have not managed to shake off gloom and heaviness from your mind? As if that were a new experience. You must change the mind, not the venue. Though you cross the sea, through lands and cities drop away, as our poet Virgil says, still your faults will follow you wherever you go. Here is what Socrates said to a person who had the same complaint as you. Why are you surprised that traveling does you no good when you travel in your own company? The thing that weighs on your mind is the same as drove you from home. What good will new countries do you? What use is touring cities and sights? All your dashing about is useless in the end. Do you ask why your flight is of no avail? You take yourself along. I think a very common thing for us, and this doesn't happen to everyone, but I bet if you just give a little bit of thought, you can think of one or two people in your circles to whom this applies. What those people have done is start over. They have started over. They've gone to another place, another home, another city, another province, state, whatever there is in your country, maybe or even another country, with the expectation that the problems they faced would dissipate or even disappear after that move, because they're starting over. They are in a new place. And what happens, I think, in such a case is that you make a fundamental reasoning error. And that error lies in the idea that it was your location that caused whatever problems you face. But the reality, and this is not an easy reality to embrace for a lot of people, is that sure, the location or circumstances under which you live may have contributed, but at the end of the day, often we are at the center of our problems. And by moving, we do not eliminate those problems because we have not eliminated ourselves, nor should we, I think. So that expectation, now everything will be different, now everything will be better, now I will not have these problems anymore, etc., is flawed reasoning. Sure, it can be helpful to make a new start, to move to another location. Maybe you want to live in a city that has more green, or maybe you want to live in a city that has less green, or whatever. It doesn't matter. You could have a certain feeling that a specific location will be better for you, that you will thrive there. Sure, then by all means make that move. But unless you address the issues that you have in your everyday life, specific things you may have to work through, for example, there will not be an improvement in your circumstances. And I think what often happens is that initially people feel a little better, but that's just the excitement of being in a new place. Once you actually be there, once you're there for a longer period of time, there is a certain disillusionment, because then you figure out that the problems are not gone. They're still there. This is hard for people to learn sometimes, because we as people really like to think of our problems in terms of what we call external loci of control. So we like to say, well, it wasn't me. It was the circumstances. It wasn't my fault. It was because of where I lived, because of what she said, because of what he did. That is why I was the way I was, or struggled with what I struggled with, or whatever. Think about how we comfort other people. When someone comes to you feeling that they have done something wrong, how natural is it to say, no, it wasn't you. No, you are in the right here. No, she was wrong. It wasn't you. It definitely wasn't you. That's what we do. And I think it's because we have evolved to use that type of reasoning. We put the blame on something else, something external, but not on something inside of us. And until you can come to grips with that, you can run away from as many problems as you would like, but you will never ever feel better. Because the problems were not created by the context in which you lived. I mean, sometimes maybe the context contributed, but largely you are at the center of the solution of those problems. I am not saying you create all your own problems, but what I am saying is you are the solution. And I think here that something like Stoicism, a way of thinking like Stoicism, can be very helpful to make you think about what those problems are. For example, in terms of what is and what is not within my control. What can I control? What can I not control? That can help you figure out what the problems are, what you can change, and what you cannot change. I also think that Stoicism can help you in becoming less aggravated by small things. So that's all I'm saying. Not that you cause your own problems, or even worse, that you imagine all your problems, but that you are at the center of what is going on. And unless you change certain things, those problems will remain. Now, just because I want to be absolutely clear, if you are in a situation, let's say, of abuse, then obviously you should get out of that situation, right? I would like to think that goes without saying. Of course, there are situations that are very healthy to get away from. But I'm trying to talk more about less extreme, more everyday things, right? Those everyday things will not be altered by changing your location, because you will take those things with you. I find this a particularly wonderful quote. All your dashing about is useless in the end. Do you ask why your flight is of no avail? You take yourself along. You bring yourself, and with yourself you bring all those problems. Those need addressing, maybe with the help of a professional. But that is a much more fruitful step than trying to blindly start over without changing anything. Remember the definition of insanity: doing the same thing twice, but expecting different results. And if you do the same things, but now in a different location, they're still the same things that you are doing. And that will not make a difference. So, do not change the circumstances without also changing yourself. That's what I would say. I hope this was clear. Let me know, please, what you think. And if you know people, I certainly do, who believe that changing circumstances would lead to improvements in situations which invariably ended up not happening. The changing circumstances did not lead to solve problems. Do you know these people too? Or am I insane? And am I the only one who feels this way? It's also possible. Anyway, that's it for now. I hope this was useful. As always, thanks a lot for watching. I always appreciate it. I always really enjoy reading the comments in these videos, because often there's very interesting things being said. Thank you so much for that. I will gladly see you later. See you next week. More talk about Stoicism. Bye!